Morning, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earthwatch, Friday, February 7, 2025. So as most of you, except for maybe one, know, I don't do clickbait, over-exaggeration, fear porn, or predictions. I make suggestions based on observations, both immediate, long-term, and any changes in patterns. This is why I said a couple of days ago to pay attention to the southern Italy region. Example, deep earthquake on land where never before they had deep earthquakes in southern Italy. Off of Sicily, new pattern of earthquakes. The Ionian Sea, south of Sicily. New earthquakes where we normally don't see them. Now, the Tyrrhenian Sea is very common for deep earthquakes, usually no stronger than, say, a magnitude 3.5, but very, very deep, 300 kilometers deep plus 400 kilometers deep. The change in the pattern is the 5.1 at 60 some odd kilometers. It's rising. Now, while others think this is just plate tectonics around the Greece region, and one particular person who wrongfully said there should not be any concern for tourists, therefore suggesting that tourists can continue to go to Santorini is completely irresponsible. Now, I will continue to suggest upwelling magmatic pressure. I will therefore continue with my suggestion of a rising or active or expanded mantle plume coming up to the underside of the lithosphere. This is Santorini, my knuckle volcano. But that the mantle plume is expanding. It's becoming wider, or it's developing branches or nodes. The known mantle plume in the Tyrrhenian Sea off of the southern coast of Italy may be an extension of that plume. As for the north coast of Sicily, there are actually precursor warning signs starting a few months ago off of Palermo. So off of the northwest corner of Palermo, earthquakes started happening there. New pattern. I would like to now suggest an increase in volcanism for Stromboli, Etna. I am not going to say that Capiflegra or Vesuvius is going to explode any moment now. Seismic activity has been ongoing there. But then, at the same time as the 5.1, within a few minutes, in the Tyrrhenian Sea, Vesuvius had a small magnitude earthquake. I think it's very, very wise to always keep in mind and practice your escape routes from coastal areas, especially your secondary routes, because your primaries are going to be all backed up. Also, please keep in mind, when you're thinking about your high points, make sure it's not on the edge of a volcano. And don't be distracted by other worldly events, because that's all they are. It's distractions, orchestrated or by happenstance. I would completely ignore them, because certain things that are being said are not going to happen, and if they do, it will ignite World War III, starting in the Middle East, maybe by intent. Anyway, I would pay attention to the geological events that's happening in the Mediterranean and how they are expanding beyond the primary area of Santorini. To date, none of the satellite feeds are showing any heat indications. I'm just saying, they're not showing any heat indications at this time. We'll continue to watch them. So, like I said, all coastal areas, Sicily, even Malta, southern to central Italy, even on the east side of Italy, the entire eastern half of the Mediterranean should be hypersensitive to what's going on. I think that's about it. I'm having to do constant notes on everything that's going on. I think a few others are starting to clue in that this may be magmatic in nature. Some are saying, at least seismic events have happened all the time. Show me. Mine is just a theory, just like the academically trained geologist, geophysicist, etc. Some have been wrong. And I would never ever suggest it's still okay for tourists to go to any of these areas. I'm going to go on for another minute. I understand even Israel is preparing for the possibility of tsunami or tsunami alerts. The rest should apply for Turkey, Egypt, Libya, Algeria, and so forth. If this is as a result of the electromagnetic connection with SAL, these events may wane off. They may ease off gradually. But thus far, indications are it's ramping up in magnitudes. We're up into the 5.1, 5.3 for Santorini regions, and now this is expanding into Italy. That will be all for today.